So, heading up to the draft, leading into the draft, how did you feel about the Johnny Manziel comparisons?
Definitely not my favorite. And at first, I got a little more frustrated with it. And then I realized I don't really care what other people think. If they haven't spent the time around me to realize that we're two different people, then that's their own fault. And so, in reality, I knew it would take care of itself, and that's why I was excited about the draft process. You get to actually sit down and meet with teams, and they get to see who you are. They talk to everybody that you've been around, so I knew it would take care of itself.
But you can, okay, granted, you're two different people, but you can see some of the similarities.
Oh, yeah.
The alcohol-related arrest, the gestures, he with the money sign, you with the crotch grab, the flag plant. So you can see why people would say that both of you guys are undersized. Mobility from the pocket. Heisman Trophy had a signature game. Yeah. He went to Alabama, did Alabama in. That was his Heisman moment.
Yep.
You going to Ohio State, the horseshoe, planting the flag, that's your Heisman moment. So you can see why people are like, well, okay, hold on now.
There are similarities. I'm not arguing with that. But I'm saying there's mistakes that I made, and then there's character.
Right.
And that's what everybody was talking about, character problems.
Right.
And that's what I knew would take care of it. And I would guarantee that I have the guys that I worked with in my locker room, the family, the people I grew up with would say we're definitely two different people. But I understand the comparisons. There's no doubt about that.
So I got to ask, because I've always wondered, why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? What took you there? It's just so weird. It's
visiting friends, but yeah, Dixon Street.
Dixon Street?
Yeah, Dixon Street was. It'll get you.
It'll get you.
It'll get you.
Long bad night.
Yeah.
Regrets about it, or?
I wasn't even in trouble. I had watched somebody just get absolutely dropped right in front of me, and so I was answering questions. And then, Coach Stoops always said, if you're in a bad situation, get out.
So you got out?
I wasn't in a bad situation, but I thought I was, so I tried to get away. So I created my own trouble. It shouldn't have been there in the first place, but at the same time, not many people know that I wasn't really in trouble in the first place.
Well, I'm sure all the evaluators, everybody that you visited with, that's one of the first questions they asked.
That was the first thing John Dorsey said to me. He asked if I like food trucks, which was where that happened.
And you said what?
I just started laughing.
Well,
it's nice to meet you.
Well, it didn't seem to bother John, right?
No.
So the crotch grab for me, I defended because it's just part of your nature. It's just who you are. You're extremely, almost crazy competitive, but good competitive, obviously, and it has a great rub-off, contagious effect on your team. I know it's just Kansas, but still, I think the John Dorseys of the NFL, these sort of old-school GMs, they love that.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact that they're banking on me knowing that there's a fine line. Football is a nasty, violent game, and it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be competitive. You're supposed to want to impose your will on that other person in front of you. But at the same time, being quarterback and being in the spotlight the whole time, can't do that. You want to be able to push your guys and set the tone, set the mentality, but at the same time, that was something that, I was a little heated at that game, but that's just something I can't do.
But it started from the coin toss. They were disrespecting you at the start, right? Yeah,
between that, the trash talk, which always happens, that doesn't bother me. But then it was the coaches on the sidelines, stuff like that, the late hits, and it is what it is. I learned from it. I won't be doing that again, but that's not going to change the competitor I am.
I'm going to take you back to the Rose Bowl because you got off to such a great start. I mean, everything was going your way, especially in that first half. What happened? How did it get away from you so quick?
I think we started playing not to lose instead of just playing to win. And that was kind of always our motto. You got to play aggressive. You got to be our offense. We don't dictate our offense by what they're doing.
Right.
So I think we started to slow down a little bit, kind of feel the whole energy of the team. It wasn't as, going for their throat. It was, let's cruise on out of here, make sure we take care of it.
Right.
And we have the lead, don't mess up.
Right.
If you're in that mentality, everybody in the sports world knows something's going to go wrong.
Right.
There were reports you got banged up in the second half. Was there any truth to that?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
It's been a while ago. I don't remember.
You don't remember? All right. Because it looked like your Your play caller occasionally took the ball out of your hands when I, as an OU fan, wanted the ball in your hands on some key plays.
Things happened. We had stuff scripted up, though, that definitely was going to work against the defense. It was just they obviously had a great defense. That's why they were there. And they were more physical than us in the second half. But we were able to even it out and push it into overtime. But at that point, they had the momentum.
I'm a big fan of Roquan Smith, who went, 8th overall to Chicago. And I think you called his number before the game. Like I got my eye on that guy because he is a difference maker.
He's one of the more instinctive guys I've ever seen. You can tell on tape, and you can definitely tell in person. And so, of the guy, but we definitely tried to take advantage of his instinct on some fake screens, stuff like that, to get him to go one way. And when you really have to worry about one guy taking him out of the ball game, that gives the others an opportunity to make plays, and they did.
By the way, one guy who was making a whole lot of plays for Georgia is Nick Chubb, who's now your
Chubbers.
teammate, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to say, what did he go for? 145 and 2 touchdowns. Sony Michel went for 181.
You don't have to read all those stats.
Unfortunately, you weren't playing safety that day, or maybe some of this wouldn't have happened because the defense was not very good that day. So what's it like to have him as your teammate now?
Not only my teammate, he's been my roommate throughout the whole process. He's a great guy. He's so quiet. To me, he's a lot like Samaje Perine that I was with for a while.
Sure.
Very quiet, just straight business, and that's all that they care about is making sure they get their job done. They don't care to go out their way to talk a lot. So I'm trying to break his little shell a little bit and have him talk. And he's a great guy though, and you can tell he was the workhorse for them, and they didn't even need him to say anything because everything he does just shows what he's all about.
So go big picture again with us. We talked to Dak Prescott about this yesterday. He's obviously the face of the Dallas Cowboy franchise. Now you're the #1 overall pick and clearly destined to be the face of the Cleveland Browns. In this age of social media, can you any longer get away with going to nightclubs? Do you have to restrict that behavior? Because I think Dak is learning that there comes a point when you just can't do any of that anymore because it's going to be all over social media. Like it becomes more dangerous than it's worth. Do you sense
I wouldn't even
that?
say it's just nightclubs. It's anything you do. There's going to be cameras everywhere. With how social media is now, people know, they might not know exactly who it is, but they'll recognize it, and then they'll start talking, and then from there, it kind of escalates in a crowd, and you find out where those types of people are. And it's not just a nightclub. It's not just anything like that. It's wherever you go to eat. It's anything. They notice what you're doing. They notice who you're with, what you're drinking, what you're eating. It's like, oh, that's probably not on his diet. Stuff like that. And so you see it. So it's just how it is nowadays. It comes with a lot of blessings, but it also comes with a lot of critics and a lot of judgment. And so you got to be careful. You just got to know where you're at, know where you're surrounded with, and everything that comes with that.
Where is the line between I'm a quarterback in the NFL, I'm the face of a franchise, but I'm also 23?
There's no line. It's just the first thing you say. It doesn't matter how old
So
you
you're
are.
no longer a normal
No.
23-year-old.
No, and I haven't been a normal 18 through whatever, just based on I've been blessed playing big-time football, and that's just how it is. And I've had to learn the hard way sometimes. No, I haven't always had an open mindset about it. I've gotten frustrated and said, why can't I just, grow up like the others? But no, I'm living out a dream, so why not handle it and, take care of it?
So you're willing, so you do understand that you're going to have to give up anonymity and some of the things that a normal 23, 25, 28, 30-year-old would be able to do. You do understand that,
I've
right?
given that up a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's...
So it seems to me like you're growing up fast in Cleveland. You seem to be carrying yourself even a little different than you did as the OU quarterback. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something that I've always noticed about guys that have been through it before, listening to them. And in Oklahoma, I was there for a little bit, and I got comfortable with it. And then now I'm in a brand-new place. I've never done it before. I'm doing things that, I don't necessarily know how to do. So I'm going to watch the guys in front of me and shut up and listen.
Well, just watch the guys that have had success. You look at the Breezes, and you look at the Mannings and the Bradys and the guys. Look at those guys that have long-term success. I mean, we've seen guys have a flash after one season. But if you want to do it long-term, you look to the guys that have done it long-term. Those are some good guys to follow.
Yeah. Some good guys.
Well said.
Awesome. All right, we're going to have to take a break right now, but we've still got even more with Baker Mayfield coming up on Undisputed. Stay with us.
I've been making blades here at Gillette for 20 years. There's a lot of innovation that goes into making America's #1 shave.